All right, guys, what is your first reaction if there's a tornado outside? What do you do?
Grab the dog and go down the basement.
Run down the basement.
Don't run. Oh! Man, so honestly, we did just have a tornado warning, and in New England, that's a lot more common the last few years than ever before. We never used to get tornado warnings, and now we get them all the time.
Yes.
Our first thunderstorm this year, tornado warning. And there was no touchdown this time, but there was circulation a few times just past Mom's house. And we all live close together. Kim is right down the road from me, a couple minutes, and then Mom is about 10, 15 minutes away. But I'm like, oh my God. So we're always calling each other like, okay, well, tornado touchdown here or a rotation here. You got to take cover. And so we always have a plan, you know. But I can't imagine those like that are just used to it down south.
In the Midwest,
it's definitely.
Out west, it's, definitely like Kansas and...
And even Tom and Heather down in Florida, like they'll get tornado warnings, and that makes me nervous because you get used to a lifestyle like that. I mean, it's still scary, but to not have a basement, like that's the one thing.
That's the thing down south.
You can't find them down south in a lot of places, and they don't have one. And we're lucky, all three of us, that we have basements where we are. So that's one thing that gives me comfort when there is a tornado warning. And some people, honestly, around this area too, just don't care.
They're like, if I get a second one,
like, there's valleys, there's mountains everywhere, we're fine. But there have been a lot of tornado touchdowns around here, valleys or not. So you can't always go by that. But it's just interesting on how people react differently to it. So hello, guys, and welcome back. We are going to be watching Twister, as you know. Storm here.
Mom here.
Kimmy here.
So I did see this a while ago, like when did it come out? 1996.
96.
So a long time ago, and it's probably been that long since I've seen it, maybe just after that or something. So I do remember, I think a lot of it because I love thunderstorms. I never want disasters to happen. I don't think anyone deserves to have a tornado, but I do love those kinds of films. You know, I think they're very exciting.
I would
scary.
say with your name, Storm Akima.
I know, Storm. I know I had to put Storm in there because, again, and my shirt, you know, I just always loved thunderstorms growing up. And I wasn't ever trying to be like a stupid kid going outside, but like anytime there was a bad storm, right when it would start to roll in before the lightning, even then it could be dangerous. I would go outside, remember, and you'd be like, get back inside. And I'm going, oh my God, because the calm before the storm.
Intrigued, guys.
Yeah, how eerie it gets, and you hear the rolling thunder, and you see the dark, ominous clouds, and you're just like, oh my God. And so that's always the most exciting part for me. But now we get a lot of like windstorms, and they're pretty violent. So now I'm like, oh God, no. I remember growing up too that we have a lot of siblings, and one of our older brothers, Greg, wanted to be a storm chaser. And he actually, I mean, I would always ask him questions. I wanted to go with him, and I remember Mom overheard that. And she's like, you're never going. Never. But then he didn't end up doing that because he took a different career path. And I think he got married then and then had kids. So he's like, yeah, I can't do that. But yeah, like that line of work is scary. Have you ever watched Storm Chasers on the Weather Channel?
I have too. Yeah, they are scary.
They're quite exciting. Like, I love watching them in the comfort of my own home, but I give them credit. Like, that's
I'm like, oh my God, their life insurance policies must be through the roof.
Wow. And a lot of people who are not storm chasers just want to do it because it's a hobby and they're not professional. And I hear there's a serious problem Midwest and down south, wherever there's a lot of tornadoes, because they get in the way and they block traffic and stuff. This is what I've heard. People can't do their jobs because they're just blocking everything, and it's just chaos. And it's dangerous because if they don't know what they're doing, they get too close, or they get in the path of the tornado, damaging winds, hail, I don't know. And I'm like, that's really freaking scary.
Just for the shot, just for the
just the excitement of it too, maybe. I don't know, like a bunch of things, but... anywho, this one's produced by Steven Spielberg, Walter Parks, Laurie McDonald, and Gerald Mullen. You guys have not seen this before. I know you've seen parts of it.
No.
Well, this time will be fun because I want to see your reaction to it for sure.
Won't be able to run any place.
Well, don't run to the basement. You always get nervous about that too because with your basement, your stairs are very, not rickety, but they're very steep, you know. And
well, and to get Dad down there, you're better off probably just staying in the hallway.
That's right, yeah.
And you get a big enough house too where you have like center rooms.
Yes.
So that's really important because I think the center rooms would be the best for you guys. A lot of you guys know that Dad had a lot of issues. He still does, but he's doing a lot better. But he had a stroke many years ago, and he had a major stroke a few years back now. He's doing good, but like he can't move around that
He's
much.
fragile.
And he
Yeah.
is very fragile now.
Frail.
So he is a very strong, manly man, and he's always been like that. So he still gets
right.
stubborn, tries to do things on his own, but then he
Oh,
can
yes.
get into a lot of trouble because he has fallen and a lot of bad things have happened before. So anyways, for them to go in the basement makes us nervous because you guys
Yes,
have a
because
really scary
Especially in an
staircase.
emergent, yes.
Yeah,
And it's a
especially
rickety
if
one.
if we both fall down, forget it.
Right.
Yeah,
in
or
the middle of
even
a
if he does.
pandemic where no one's
Yeah.
going in the house, so
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
off just being
Because
safe.
that one time Dad fell, and God, that was during the pandemic, and we all rushed over there, and we wanted to get inside the house because you couldn't even lift him, so that's how dangerous
Right.
it was
He
too.
had a fever too. So
And he had a
didn't know.
fever. Yeah, he didn't have COVID though, but that's what we feared. I'm like, oh God,
Right.
oh God.
Yeah.
You know, and with all the problems he has, and he has major lung issues and stuff, and he needs a breathing machine every day. So we're like, oh God, but no, he is doing good, and so we kind of laugh, but we're saying it out of nervousness and stuff too, making it light.
I
But
tell you.
you know, whenever there's a tornado warning, because we have been getting a lot more, we always tell them, don't go in your basement. You guys are on a mountaintop, so hopefully you won't have a tornado. But if anything, trees, you have trees everywhere because you're right in the middle
Oh,
of the woods.
trees. Yes, we have
So
a lot of trees.
you do have center rooms that would be
Yeah,
very
you'll be
safe
fine in the hallway.
with no windows, you know. So I think that's
Yeah.
safer. Well, you do have
a couple
slider right
seats. Just sit down,
there. And it's
chill
flat.
out. Yes.
So it's something you should think about. I mean, not to be paranoid, but you should have a game plan if there is ever a natural disaster,
Always have a
whether
plan.
flood,
Yes, we do.
earthquake, tornado. And friends of mine growing up also, we used to come up with like what if scenarios and go, what would you do? You never know what you would do
That's
until
right,
you
yeah.
They had a show about that. Like, what would you do? And like,
Mhm.
if you had to survive, or
Yeah.
you know, in the woods,
Yeah.
something happened in the woods or something.
I like that. Like, I like those stories. I mean, like, I don't want to ever be in that situation, but it is fun to talk
fan.
about. So,
That's right.
one quick story. I have a lot of storm stories, guys, so I'll try to keep it short. But last year, we had a lot of tornado warnings, and we actually had some tornado touchdowns close by, right? Oh, no, this wasn't last year. This was a
2 years ago,
this
we
is
had
like,
the macro burst down
See.
a couple of towns.
we had a
over.
microburst,
One
yep.
town.
We had one actually many years ago that was right down Mom's street, and that was insane because she is in a wooded area, and it flattened all these huge trees. I mean, these trees were probably like 2 feet, 3 feet in diameter. Like, they were
Yeah.
huge, and they were flat, and they were tall too. Like, this is a huge wooded area. Completely flattened, and it was near a farmhouse, and the farmhouse was fine, and it was so bizarre. This was so long ago
weird.
that the news station came down, and Dad was there, and then he actually got interviewed because he pulled over and he was like, so
I did
do you guys
too,
remember
yes.
that a while ago?
Yes, I remember
That was a long
that.
time ago. So that wasn't my story, but anyways, yeah, there's a lot of fun, well, not fun, but storm
fun.
stories.
It's
But
true.
when I came home and my neighbor was outside, we started talking, and it was a beautiful day out. So we were discussing like, oh, we were all going to start hanging out because we're friends with our neighbors, and Ryan's family is right next door. So we were like, okay, well, maybe we'll hang out in a little while. And then all of a sudden it got pitch black, like out of nowhere, just a few minutes. I'm like, whoa, okay, I guess the storm is coming through. And then my phone started vibrating, and it said tornado warning, take cover now. So Lee right next door, she goes, oh my God, tornado warning. So she's like warning us too. And then her neighbor's like, oh, would you look at that? My phone just went off. So we're like, oh God. And then Ryan, I guess his phone went off too. So we go back to our houses, and the wind starts really kicking up. And anyways, our neighbor's cat was outside, and he's a beautiful orange tabby cat. So Ryan, he's this big guy, think of Drax the Destroyer, running out, and he grabs the orange cat, runs to our neighbor's house, and the cat's like it's like starfish stiff, like a statue, because it's all freaked out that he grabbed it, and he's holding it like a football, and he runs to our neighbors, and he just throws the cat inside and shuts the door, because it was Lee's house. So he just throws the cat in there, and he's such a caring guy to be like that, because he's like, put the animals inside, you know, because it's an outdoor cat. And anyway, so that was like the main part of the story. So the storm really got bad, but we were lucky, and there was a tornado touchdown that passed our houses. I mean, even though different locations kind of closed, it was a few miles away or something.
Yeah.
But it got really dark, kind of like the poster we see in Twister. We had bad lightning, thunder, just a lot of wind, just the trees whipping and stuff. And we almost went in the basement, but we didn't have to. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
and it's hard for you guys
Good.
because you have an outdoor. You have to go in your basement from the outdoors.
We have an old small house, and I love our house. It's been in Ryan's family for a long time, And it's a very, very old house. So anyways, we have to go outside and go downstairs. So you have to get really drenched and get into the rain and any debris that's out there. It's scary, you know?
That's right.
So we did that once and we were drenched within 2 seconds. It's like, oh my God. So be safe, guys. Point being.
That's
That's
right.
right. Be safe.
I could just sit here and let's go live and just talk about storms all day.
Yeah, she
really.
likes.
I'm just crazy. I don't know why I love them so much. Like, again, I don't want people to get injured, but the excitement and the waiting of...
So you can understand, you know, what it would be like for a storm chaser.
I probably would love to be a storm chaser, but then I'd be like, be careful. Like, I'm like, kind of like both.
I know.
That would be so torn. Like,
Hummer.
this is exciting, but be careful. Get away right now. Ah. So, anywho, guys, we're going to be watching on Amazon today because I checked all the other services we have, and it's not on there. All right, you guys ready?
Ready.
Oh, the puppy.
Oh, there's- oh.
Daddy could have gotten.
I know I'd be grabbing the animals.
Oh,
The
oh, he's
dog.
right there.
Watch out,
Open,
the
just
dog up.
open a little bit. There he is.
So I'm gonna watch it. Ooh,
Okay, good.
watch it. Watch it.
Good.
Ooh.
Now shut the door.
Oh.
Oh, to see your dad
Oh.
and her husband. Oh, stay right there, sweetie.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
Dusty, why don't you explain to Melissa why you are the way you are?
Oh, boy. Hi, Dorothy.
Oh, yeah.
Or one Dorothy.
Wow, it is great. What is it?
Studying tornadoes.
We can increase warning time to 15 minutes.
Give people a chance to get to
It's
safety.
huge.
Yeah,
Wow.
3 minutes is nothing.
This sucks, huh?
Oh, my God.
They live for this.
He wants to do it.
He keeps looking back.
I'm gonna tag along.
No, no.
Oh, what fun.
Like he has like a bus.
That white suit is going to be destroyed. Running him off?
Oh,
Oh, ruining the
wow. Oh, come
truck.
on. Oh, that's not right. Oh, boy, he's really enjoying himself.
That's great music. For a tornado chase.
She's a therapist.
Yours?
Christ,
What?
you couldn't resist.
Yours? Yeah, I did.
He had that open.
I need ability.
Okay, you're going off the grid there.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, shit. Wow.
Almost ran into a deer.
Ooh. And the music, it's so eerie.
Oh,
Dorothy ain't gonna make it with that kind of driving.
boy.
Oh, didn't.
Oh, crap. Whoa.
Oh, it's taking their invention. Everything.
Wow.
It's like the tractor too, and the truck.
Everything.
Oh, everything's gone.
Where's my truck?
There it is.
There it is.
Oh,
Wow.
Melissa found it.
Yes.
They're fine. Pay attention to the road.
They're fine.
Give me a kiss, baby.
Get out of here.
Too slow for her, or what?
Yeah, quick.
That's better.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a sidewinder. It'll move left.
Is that bad?
Wasn't there a road back there?
For
Yeah.
normal people, yeah.
Wow.
Looks like they're going to intercept.
Thanks a lot.
No.
But with Donald's motility, you're not gonna have this baby the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
Can you imagine going toward an
Oh, no,
F3?
thank you.
I hope no one dies doing this.
Oh, my God. Whoa. That's
Oh!
jeez.
We got cows.
Flying cows!
Oh,
Oh!
poor cow, that poor cow.
Oh, they're going to be
Oh,
stuck,
my
sucked
God.
right in.
Whoa. Whoa.
And they can't release it.
Oh, look
They're
at them
right
all.
there.
Whoa. Wow.
This is not okay.
Oh,
It's terrifying.
yeah, that's right.
We're absolutely not going.
That means they are.
Yes, they are.
Famous last words.
Of course you are. Feed us. How cute.
Okay.
Where'd you get all this beef?
Did you see my cows out front?
No.
Oh,
That's why. They're in the freezer.
See, there was another Bill, an evil Bill, and I killed him.
Like, what?
it's for you, Dusty.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, how sweet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's so flat. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, it's all
Range.
flat.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Whoa,
Going
no.
into a highway. It's
Whoa.
like,
Oh,
This is the fun part, sweetheart.
she's like, no way.
Seatbelt on.
whoa.
That's the sucky part. They have to go
Wow.
outside to
Wow.
activate it. Oh, what's going on? Is it stuck?
Ooh. Oh
It's
my
right
God,
for
look at
ya.
right there. Ooh. Oh my God.
Honey.
What?
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
boat just went by.
God.
You thought the cow was bad.
Everything. Whoa.
I turn it around.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It takes way too long.
All right. Expedite.
Oh,
Right on it again.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, they took it off for you. Now it's ruined. Well, they're out.
They're out so much. Whoa.
Watch out.
Ooh.
You've never seen him miss this house and miss that house and come after you.
Oh.
Killing yourself won't bring your dad back.
Oh.
Sorry he died, but it
Oh,
was a
they're
long time
hearing it.
ago. Me, Joe.
Oh.
But she knows it. She
Yeah,
feels their connection.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Red rum.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Television is going out. It's getting close, guys.
That's right.
There's Johnny. Oh my God.
Whoa, look at him. Oh, gosh.
Here's Johnny.
Whoa.
Come on.
I was so nervous.
Good. She just saved his life. That's good.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Wow.
Quite a bit of movement.
Mm-hmm.
Auntie.
Oh,
Auntie M.
guys, I hope she...
You know what? I can't compete with this. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Wait, don't do this now.
It's okay.
She's so mature.
She's a good person.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, my
looks like her
goodness, brings
family.
back memories. Oh.
No, I'm all right. I'm fine.
Ooh.
Oh. Here it comes.
Oh my God. Oh,
Watch out. Right on your head.
Oh, God, I didn't go.
Peppers.
Oh my gosh.
We'll probably keep her overnight just to be safe.
Overnight, forget it. I'm all right.
You're going to the hospital.
Where's she gonna
She's
go
all
anyway?
right.
Mom's
She's
stay
a
overnight.
Oh, you the puppy.
Oh, hello.
Whoa,
Just in
time.
just in time. Guess that's it.
What are they gonna do?
Whoa.
Holy
Oh
crap.
my God.
It's gonna get stuck.
Whoa, it's coming right out. Oh my God.
Oh, boom. Oh my God, right through it.
God.
Oh my God, they're gone. They're gone.
Whoa.
Now look out.
Yeah, listen to him.
Oh,
Whoa.
right there.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully no one's in there.
Oh, God, through the house. Right through the house.
Hey.
God.
Holy crap.
Whoa.
Of course, I'll show you the way.
My God.
Yeah. Jump on our backs.
Whoa.
All the machinery, the blades. Oh, great.
Oh my God, who are these people?
Oh my God. What?
Farmers. Oh!
Oh, look at all the
God.
tools and machines.
Ooh. They collapse some too. Ooh.
Go under the bar.
Just the debris alone.
God, if they didn't have that, they'd be
good thing it was
gone.
dropped.
They're so lucky they're not
Dropped
getting
in.
hit a lot
Whoa.
by debris.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Blue skies all the way at the top.
Oh, go. Whoa.
After that, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm running the lab.
You're running the lab? I don't think so.
already they're right back in it.
Happily ever after.
Yes.
You know what? I think we've seen enough.
Oh my God.
Gang's back together.
Wow.
Look at that track. Look at that trail.
Yeah.
Look at it, how wide
That's
it is.
something? Wow.
Holy crap.
I wonder if you actually see that. I'm sure you do. Besides just houses being destroyed, a lot of debris. Insane.
They had one after another after another.
That's right. Yes. So much. Whoa.
Get to see the different storm clouds. I love watching the different types of clouds at the end. That's good.
Mhm. It's mesmerizing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious what you guys thought of this.
It was a lot of excitement, I'll tell you that.
It was
Very
great.
much. It was good.
It was such a great experience to follow the characters on their drive, on Joe's drive of why she wanted this. And the reason, it was a personal reason. Her father died. There was no warning. She had to do this for future tornadoes. It was such an urgent thing to do, and to almost risk your life. I mean, they did risk their lives numerous times to do this, and thank God it's successful. Just amazing.
That's right. That's
It really makes you think on how dangerous that lifestyle is, you know, like tornadoes are scary and we hear things. I mean, we're lucky enough where we do get tornado warnings and stuff, but we've been lucky enough where we don't experience it, and it's not so rare anymore, but like, knock on wood, I'm not trying to jinx it, but we haven't actually had any terrifying experience up close, you know. But people that do, I mean, you never get used to it, but I guess you get used to like tornado warnings, and people like hopefully heed the warnings and go find shelter or something instead of just ignoring it. And maybe they are more prepared than we are, because again, going back to experience,
they have so much more tornadoes than we do. So
yeah. And sometimes depending on what you're doing, sometimes when you're really used to something, even though it's not the same, an example is snow. Like, so many people up north are really used to snow, and they prepare and figure out a way to deal with it. And with us, like certain places, or Texas, or, you know, like a lot of places that aren't prepared for it, it's a bigger problem.
Oh, it's
And
huge.
most
You get a couple
people-
inches of snow, forget it.
Yeah, and Texas is not a good example, because that was just really sad and really bad, because they don't have that kind of, you know, preparation that we have. But yeah, but around here we'll say, like, if we have a good snowstorm, people freak out and everything closes down. And it's dangerous, yes, but when you're prepared, because you're dealing with it all the time, you're more calm about it, and you just handle it differently. So honestly, it's different with tornadoes. I would think people would heed those warnings more and take cover. But up here, it's opposite, because a lot of my friends and stuff don't care. And when there is a tornado warning, they're like, we're fine. Nothing's going to happen. Like, a lot of people think that way until it does, you know?
Yeah. Oh, they're being extra cautious. It's not really going to happen.
Yeah, even though it tells you to take cover now, there was a touchdown, which we've had before. And everyone else that I know is like, really? You took shelter? I'm like, yeah. They're like right down the road from me. I just don't care. It's just crazy. But yeah, so very intense. And for storm chasers to go out and do this all the time, I mean, the energy just in the beginning when they go out in the initial chase and they're blaring music and they all have their own type of music that gets their adrenaline going.
Right,
Yeah. And it probably gives them comfort too, just to release that nervous energy, excitement energy. And that is a great scene to see. Just them going out and like, yeah, we can do this. This is great.
And it's not just to report. They're trying to do this new technology to get this alert system up so people can, the quicker the warning,
That's right.
the longer the warning, the better. So people can, they can be saved.
Yeah, so they can take
And it was
cover and
such a
have enough
great-
time.
Yeah.
So, 3 minutes, if that's true, this is, how many years old now? 96. So, hopefully things have changed, but warning systems are still not enough. Like, they're still probably not quick enough where people should take cover right when there is a bad storm coming. But if you're working and you have these storms all the time, you might not really, again, you might just ignore it.
And thankfully we have, devices. Everyone, so many people have cell phones now, and it's just everything is right at your fingertips. Just like so many ways you can get the alerts. Thank God. Over the years, it's really come far.
It has. And that is a true point, because I did talk about that, and you're right, in the beginning, where my phone would go off when there was a tornado warning, and at one point it said, tornado touchdown, heading towards your area, take cover now. And I was like, holy crap. And then I went inside and I put on the Weather Channel, and it said the same thing. That emergency broadcast thing that you see, that bomb that goes across. It said that. It said, take shelter now, in big, bold letters. And I've never actually seen anything on the emergency broadcast before. And I was like, what? So I took action right away, and so did Ryan, and so did our neighbors. But until that happens, like when you're in a place where there's like Tornado Alley, if you're in a place that has frequent tornadoes, like how much time do you have to really seek shelter before it hits? Because when you actually hear the alarms go off, it's like, what? Or on your phone, hopefully it's faster, point being, and people actually do react to it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they respect it. That's the important thing. I remember being in high school when we lived in Florida. When I was in high school, we had storm alerts. You had to, take cover. They had drills. And it was I was like, what? Because being from up north, I was like, what? They have these? And it happens here far more frequently than you think. But it was pretty interesting to be, to learn a drill for something I've never grown up with,
Yeah,
that's right.
That is really interesting too, because we've always had tornadoes in this area, and I know because we're in New England, but like it's definitely more frequent now that we're getting warnings. Like we've had a few big tornadoes over so many decades, but now I just feel like it's a whole lot more frequent. So it is interesting how like that was important to actually train for that. And we used to do that a little bit from what I remember in high school. I think we actually did go out, but it wasn't like a lot that we did that. We used to go in the hallways and
I never had in Connecticut. We never had those drills. Only in Florida I had them.
Yeah, because we had some drills. Gosh, it's something that you just take for granted.
I know, right?
Like, oh God, why do we have to do these?
Yeah, fire drills.
Yeah, we didn't do them often, and we had fire drills, but a couple times we had to go into the hallway and squat and cover our heads. But
when I was growing up, we had air raid drills too in school.
That's scary.
Yeah,
that's sad. Yeah, that's really scary. I mean, that's human control right there. That's a lot more dangerous, because hopefully tornadoes, especially up here again, like you won't get, your chances are low that you're going to get hit. But yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah, it is, and especially in the area you live. There's look at other countries with tsunami warnings. They have, I'm sure they have drills for that. There's just, it's amazing what you just don't realize in just different parts of our own country. Thank God for people like this, these scientists that, they risk their lives to do better technology.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And that is so dangerous. I mean, to go in front of a tornado to do the science, to risk your life like that. And these guys are so brave. Like, I really love how close they are or were, because they are like a family unit. Like they're so close.
Like no one else gets them. Like you saw that with Melissa. Like Melissa was anyone USA going out with these guys. Like we wouldn't understand. Like, oh my God, this is intense. And she respected it, and she understood that they need to be together.
That's right. Yeah, definitely.
They are two peas in a pod. That's their drive. That's
Yeah.
their love. And
it's such
Yeah.
a unique, intense drive, like that's
It is.
danger all the time. And they live for it. Like, oh, did you lose your nerve? They tighten your
Well, yeah.
seatbelt and they just go off. And it's already disastrous because they get stuck on that trail or whatever, the ditch there. And the first tornado experience they had. So they live for that. And I really did like Melissa's character a lot, too, because she was not a bad person.
No,
she was just
wasn't
different
at all.
from
She
him.
was a nice guy, nice person.
And she really understood that, too. Like, she's very smart, open-minded. She's a doctor, therapist.
Therapist, she knows.
Yeah, and so she could totally see what was going on there. And she wasn't spiteful towards Joe. There wasn't, any jealousy
wasn't like
there.
that,
Yes,
no.
there was, but it wasn't like that. Like, it was very mature. Feelings were hurt there. Like, Joe was hurt. But it was awkward, of course, makes perfect sense. But they just handled it perfectly, I thought. And I was
That's
so
good.
happy
Yeah,
they
me
didn't
too.
make Melissa the bad person or something, or Joe the bad person. It was really sad when Melissa left, but I think that was a perfect thing for her to do because it was leading in that direction anyways, which I'm sure you guys, I could hear your comments that
Yeah, you can
you
see
knew
that,
that was going to
definitely.
happen. And I felt so bad for her, but even she said, and I'm not all that upset. And that
She
says a
did say
lot.
that.
So she understands all that because she's a therapist and she's very smart and
Good for her.
And
No.
she's mature, and she knows. I mean, she's a relationship therapist. She gets it.
Yeah,
And she
that's
sees the bond that they have. And Joe was you can just tell that Joe was still immensely in love with Bill. You can just, and Bill,
and
and
she
vice
called it
versa.
out early on too.
Yeah,
she did,
And she went
yes.
quiet because it was an awkward conversation, but it was true. Very true. So I thought their chemistry was good. I love Joe and Bill together, and they were just meant to be. But with such an intense job too, like you're constantly on the edge, and you're just like your energy's high, and they probably. I mean, we saw them not together, hanging out, arguing. Like things just go right back to arguing because everything's just so intense that your adrenaline's high and you might argue and you're both like leaders and it just happens. Like you just argue a lot. So having that breakup really made them miss each other, and then going back in it, now they really appreciate what they lost,
And
That's right.
on another note, when Joe finally clicked on how to get those sensors up in the funnel, Bill instantly connected with her and
Right
said,
there. Yeah,
that's
that
how
was-
we have
yeah.
to do it. Didn't even have to say
Thanks,
what
Meg.
it was.
Right. That
Yeah,
was-
they
Yeah,
just
piece of
instantly
pie.
knew. So that's how close
Wow,
they
see,
are. They
yeah,
just
that's
know.
Sure.
Another fun thing that I loved was Aunt Meg, where
Oh,
they're like,
she was great.
yeah, she-
close to
yes.
wicked time.
Yes, that's
right.
No, we're not going to invade my
Showtime.
aunt. Yeah, so I like how they did that, where
That's right.
it's rude, but it's fun. It just shows like how
yeah,
close
it's
they are, and
total
she
love.
loves it,
And she loves
right.
it, yeah.
and
Yeah,
even
I'm so
joking
glad
with
she-
them.
And I'm so glad she survived.
Yeah,
I
Big
was
time.
afraid she wasn't going
Big time.
to. Yeah,
And
that's good.
like she said, I had no warning.
yeah, that's
She was
true.
literally upstairs in her bedroom. She got downstairs with the dog, but
yeah.
she said, I had no warning. Go do
That's
what
right.
you do.
So again, like you said, it's so important to do this because it saves lives, and they
That's
need
right.
to figure out a way to have a better warning system, and that probably still happens in certain towns. I mean, how can you be perfect and be able to warn about every single tornado? I mean, they have better radars and stuff, and hopefully it is just better now. Again, like just saying generalized, where we know that it is better with our phones, we get alerts and stuff, but with an actual touchdown to be like, yep, touchdown, and
Yeah.
alert everyone.
Well, look, a perfect example is Jonas's team. He had all the tech, he had all the funding. He still couldn't get it.
No,
Bill
He relied
had
too
that
much on that.
knowledge. He
Right.
had that, that
the instinct.
that sense,
right.
yeah. And
they warned him in the end.
they did warn
Something
him, and
happened,
he
and
didn't
he
want
didn't
to
listen.
heed the warning.
No?
As you wish. Sorry, it's a Princess Bride thing, which you guys still have to see. It's really good. But I like Jonas's character. He was very one-dimensional, where we didn't like him, and he copied their stuff. And it wasn't just
That's right.
copying Dorothy. He copied everything. Like, he couldn't go on his own. And when he followed his
Yeah,
technology,
that's
he
right,
sucked
yeah.
at it. Like, because the technology isn't so reliable. In this movie, it was all about instincts. And even with the Weather Channel now, like, it's not very accurate. Like, it is, but then it isn't very accurate because you can follow the patterns all you want, but it can be unpredictable on what really will happen at the last second. If something random shifts, it's a domino effect.
Yeah,
things
and
can quickly
meteorologists
That's
will
it.
tell you that all the time, even when we get snowstorms. It's like, well, it could go either way. If it does go
Yeah.
this way, and the
right.
European models opposed to the American models are different. So it's like a spaghetti.
So we all need a bill in every town to just like
That's
hang
right.
out. and be
That's
like,
right. We need a bill. Grab the dirt and let it go.
to know. He just knows when things are going to shift. But I like how they explain that to us too, where we're like, oh yeah, no, we can see it turning. Oh yeah, because it's starting to like move a certain way, and you know the instinctual thing's probably not a thing, but I like to think that it might be because it was kind of fun to see it like that. One fun thing that I have to say, because I am only bringing this up to show that we're not oblivious to it, but I heard you say, Kim, that it's a monster tornado.
It has that
really
tone to it.
I really enjoy the special effects a lot in this, and it makes it more scary. But I remember watching this a long time ago, and I forget which brother said it now, but he's like, Simba, it swallowed Simba, because it kept sounding like a lion roaring, or Mufasa. So I was like, oh yeah, it does. And so the roar just makes it more evil.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
If you guys want to leave your experience, if you had any, God forbid, any tornado experiences on what tornadoes sound like, because when we used to live in Florida, we actually did go, I remember, I was really young. We went into the hallway and we were all squatted and just
Do you remember Halloween night? I forget what the name of it was. It was Halloween night, and you kids were so mad because I was supposed to take you out trick-or-treating and we couldn't go because of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Really? I just remember like
Greg and I were supposed to take you out. We were so psyched. We were all dressed up.
Oh man!
We couldn't take, so we ate our own candy. We were good.
Okay, yeah, see, that I don't remember. That was so long. I mean, like, I was really little. But
I had to look up what the name was. I forget.
But I remember, like, just being in the hallway with everyone, and everyone was quiet, and I heard, like, this rumble, and I guess
it sounded like a train.
I know. You guys would always say freight train, so I don't know if it's just instilled in me to think that or not, or... But yeah, I hear from a lot of other people too that it sounds like a freight train. So if you guys want to let us know your own experience and what it sounds like, I'm really curious to know. But I guess it depends also on what kind of debris it's carrying, on how big it is, what it's going through. Because with all that debris, that's the only reason why you can see a tornado is because how much crap it picked up. The scientific way to explain it, guys.
That's right.
But yeah, so like that's insane to think like how dangerous they are. Just because of that alone. So even Bill and Joe, I love the ending with the tornado going over them. It was just perfect in how everything happened.
Yes,
and I really enjoyed it for that. If you just follow it as a story, as a fun adventure, thrilling adventure, like it's really, really good. But every time a tornado would go over them, it would dissipate right after. It's like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And then did you realize like they would dissipate on them almost every single time?
Yes.
And they would always like follow, like, yes, they go right into the tornado, but it would always turn and end up going right for them, which makes it a fun, exciting movie. The only other thing was when they were tied up and with all the debris getting picked up, right? And getting, I mean, they're in an F5 tornado and they were not even harmed. Like their skin wasn't chopped up or anything.
And falling down on the
random things happened too. And we were seeing like the fences like going through, like the wood going right through into the barn.
Time.
So
I was even petrified when they were when everyone, that little town, was watching the drive-in, and they're just watching this movie. Like nobody gets on the intercom. There's a storm coming. Nothing. It was like,
I mean, even with all their equipment,
Oh,
and they have all their equipment, the normal team there, but I get it, like, they've been doing this all day, and they're just taking a break, but they're still in their vans and stuff, and no one sees this coming, but it makes it more exciing that way.
Right, and all the more to keep going, because they need to get this system up and going for future alerts. Mm-hmm. So it just made sense.
And people do, yes, exactly, and then people do... go into shock, especially when they're not expecting something at all.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So the whole time, I mean, Joe's different because she just like looks at it and she just wants that opportunity. She's so obsessed with it, and to see something so big, she's like fearless and she just kind of goes numb to it or something. It's in her own little world. But so I understand why she freezes, but then like the people behind her who are just watching out the window, I know it's dark out, but I'm like everyone's running and things are starting to get ripped apart already, and you guys are still waiting by the window until Joe hits it and goes, get downstairs.
It was a good part of the movie, though, when Jack was going into... It He was like at the climax of The Shining.
I know. He's like, here's Johnny.
I was like cracking up. I'm like, this is the good part.
I think that's what's supposed to be funny about it. Yeah, because it's like this horror film and
No
you have
one's
your
gonna
own horror
leave.
going on. And I mean, what quick thinking too to go into that area. I mean, like here you have all this mechanical stuff around you, but thank God there was a pit there they can go into.
Yeah, big time.
And they were only side swipes, so it really makes you think like that wasn't even a direct hit.
Imagine, yeah.
Yeah. And poor Melissa's like, what? That
Why
wasn't
was
it?
I really liked her character a lot. Like
I did too.
she was straightforward too. She was funny. Like I like her
Yeah,
talking
when she was
to
taking the calls.
That's right.
yeah, her patience.
Lines.
It's like, wait, what? But it was sad when she left, but that was a perfect time for her to go, and then she was safe afterwards. And I love Joe and Bill together. They were great. Dusty was so funny to me. I thought he was hilarious.
he was
Hoffman.
right.
There he is.
He was like your crazy college friend.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's so different from Plutarch from Hunger Games.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But he's done many roles and
Yes.
very enjoyable in this. Like he cracked me up. Loser, move on. I just remember that. Loser, move on. And the other crew members too. Like they were awesome. They were so close again. The nervous
They were
guy
nice.
who was hiding in his van. And
I
Joe,
know.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
remember if she saw him in there or if she just realized that
The door
no,
was
he's
open, and I
scared.
think
Yeah.
she just saw
That's
him
what
in
clicked.
there.
Thank
And she
goodness
knows
she
he's a
got him
nervous
out.
guy. So
Yeah.
thank God she went back to see him.
Yeah,
And-
he would have died.
And first time I saw this, he was stumbling all the time every time he talks, and he's just like, he looks down, doesn't like give you direct eye contact. So I was like, okay, he's going to do something later, like he's going to get scared and something bad's going to happen. But luckily he was okay, and she saved him. So I'm going to say Dusty was definitely my favorite, but he was the most outgoing.
Yes,
And
yes,
He was, and he
interactive.
really
Yeah.
took on Melissa. Like, come on, like
Holding her
Yeah, that was
hand
good.
and
didn't
like
hold her
yeah.
a
in her
grudge
face,
or
like, almost
anything.
kissing
You know,
Yes.
yeah, and her yelling in his face, like, you guys are all crazy. What? Like,
with her big umbrella, his beach umbrella. She's holding it. It's like,
it's like we're all Melissa, just watching this intense
Yes,
group
yes,
go out
yeah.
and do all these crazy things. But yeah, very,
boy.
very exciting movie. The special effects I love. I mean, they were only, I mean, not only because they were with the tornadoes with the debris going on, and I think they did very well, especially for the time. Again, this is 96, so nowadays, which is so sad to say in a way, because like at the time it was like so realistic, and now so many years later you can like kind of nitpick certain things, but I still like how they animated the tornadoes. And
I did.
That
I
was
liked
good.
it, how they did
I liked it
the
a lot.
sister twisters. That was really cool.
Oh, that was
cows.
beginning of it.
Oh, another cow.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, that's the same one.
Oh, yeah.
And how things would get picked up. You have these massive things, but just how the winds are, I guess, where you have like with the
my
F5,
gosh.
we had that big tanker truck
Oh,
getting
yeah.
pulled up, but
The
yet
fuel
their
truck.
truck
Ooh.
didn't get picked up, you know? So you had all these
Boy,
different
didn't it?
heavy objects that would get picked up, and then lighter things wouldn't, and even Dorothy wouldn't get picked up because it was too light. Like, it was just crazy to see all that mayhem and be like, holy crap.
Oh, jeez, yeah. That's right.
And then Carrie Ells, like, again, that's As You Wish, Princess Bride. So to see him in an evil role was very different, you know. But again, I saw this
Yeah.
before, so I knew that. But
I always wanted to travel through like Oklahoma and Kansas. You know, I'd want to do a cross country road trip, and I'll always think of this movie if I ever do it.
oh god, I mean, like, it's a great movie, and the countryside, like, it's beautiful. Like all
Gorgeous.
the
Yeah, it is.
different
It's
shots
beautiful.
they did. I mean, we're not used to super flat, open
No.
areas.
Flat,
like
no,
we have
no.
mountains everywhere
Yes.
and just tons of trees, and you can't see open plains like this. And watching this is just
right.
so impressive, you know.
Oh,
It is. It's
it is so much.
beautiful country out there. Gotta go out.
So just to ask you guys, what was, besides the F5, because I know everyone's going to say the F5, what was the most exciting, even if it was sad, what was the most exciting tornado scene you liked in this movie?
I was afraid for Meg when it happened on her house and was all collapsed on her and things, and I was wondering if she was still alive.
Yeah, so that was like the second to last tornado, right? That was the F4 or something that went through. Yeah, I was really worried about her there too, and I'm
I
happy
was
she
too.
survived.
I knew she's a super smart lady. She knew her own chimes were going off faster and faster. The wind's blowing. You know, I knew she would take cover quicker, but yeah, it was.
She was
I was
under-
frightful for her
Under
too.
all that debris, you know, I was worried about her.
Yeah.
I was really scared the first one when they were driving and it's like right on them and they couldn't get the Dorothy to go right off the bat, the first one. And they're under this little this little
Oh,
bridge type
bridge,
thing
yeah.
with farm equipment. I'm like, they're done for already. They're
Yeah,
they're
it's like
already
the
going to
end.
be gone. Like they rammed
Yeah.
right into it with the truck. I mean, they're going to be gone. I'm like, I can't believe that they made it
wow.
through.
I
And to
love
have
how-
Jonas's team go right by him, I'm like, you are really jerky.
Really showed that they're like,
Yeah, they don't care.
they don't
on,
care.
let's
Like,
just
we
do
should move
humanity,
on.
man.
Right.
And then you have Desi going and
Should've
jumping,
known it.
kissing them because he knows that they're jerks, so he's trying to make them uncomfortable.
Yes.
But I'm glad I asked you guys first because I liked all of them, and I can say a lot of good things about all of them because they were all so different. We saw all kinds of tornadoes, and it was a little bit different every single time the way they would interact with it, I guess. And the twin tornadoes, like you said.
Yes.
That's right.
But I want to say the first one, like you said, Kim, was the biggest one for me where I was like, because it's pulling you into this world of like, wow, this is freaking dangerous. How, like already they're in danger. Like it doesn't go well at all. Like you just can't predict it fully, like the terrain and everything. So that actually made me the first time really terrified because that's the first initial like, holy crap moment that you
that's right,
have.
yeah.
So that one stood out the most to me besides the F5. But then all the other ones, honestly, I love the one with, I'm going to name them all. I mean, honestly, the theater one really sticks out to me because that's a huge one that they didn't predict. They weren't
right,
chasing
yeah.
at that time. They were trying to relax.
That's right.
And that's the one that hits the aunt. So I was really scared for Meg. And that scene was very tragic and important, I feel like, because it really makes you like, oh my God, because here you have these people trying to save people. And now you have one of their family members because
That's
they
right,
all
yeah.
love Meg. They're all family
Oh,
with her.
yeah.
Oh,
She's everybody's aunt.
Yeah, and they all go in to help her out. Like, it just shows you how much they love each other. So it really shows you, like, holy crap, they're trying to do a good thing by saving people's lives. And look, their family's in trouble again. And it makes it closer to home, So I really
That's
like
right.
that. And I'm glad she survived. She's tough and like, I'm
too.
fine. So look how they show her
Right,
that
yes.
all the way through.
My wrist is fine.
So all in all,
Where's my
very good
truck?
movie. Yes, and
That's
all the
right, your
acting
truck.
was perfect. I love all the acting in this. Like
Yes.
Helen Hunt, Bill
That's good.
Paxton, and Bill Paxton too. Love you. And
Yeah.
I know he passed away as well. We discussed that a few times on the channel because we've seen him in a few things already. And he was also on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a while ago. And we love
That's
that.
right.
We were
Yes.
actually
Yes.
pleasantly
We
surprised
loved
That's right.
that he was on that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for requesting this movie because it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I'm so happy I could finally watch it with you guys and get your reactions because I was curious how you were going to like it.
Yes.
So when you go out, don't freak out and go right, left, right, left.
Yeah.
I meant to say left, and oh crap, and we're going in. So that whole chase scene was great too. But we used to joke like when we were younger, and whenever we go into a car, we'd be like right, left, like jokingly, but not when we were driving, just right before or something, But yeah, so it brings back good memories watching this. It's very exciting and scary, Good mix of everything.
It's scary. It's exciting.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out our store. Please check out our Patreon. All the links are below. And we'll see you very soon as always.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.